There's a fascinating concept of cherry picking a jury when really what they're required to do in death penalty cases is get what's called a death qualified jury. I'm Eliza Orland's career public defender in Manhattan for 15 years, and I want to talk about what a death qualified jury looks like. In a death penalty case, whether it's federal or state, a death qualified jury is a group of jurors that are qualified to serve on that jury based on the fact that they don't have strong enough opinions on the death penalty that they would refuse to impose it. Essentially, the jury has to be made up of people who would be willing to consider the death penalty. So in a lot of ways, it does look like a very cherry-picked jury because during voir dire, which is jury selection, you get asked a series of questions that relate to the death penalty. And I'm going to show you some sample questions now. Jurors will be asked tough questions like, do you have strong feelings about the death penalty? Do you believe the death penalty is sought in a discriminatory, random, or unfair manner? Would it be important to you in deciding whether a person found guilty of a capital offense should be sentenced to death or life imprisonment without the possibility of release? Do you believe that a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of release is more severe or less severe than the death penalty? Do you believe in the concept of an eye for an eye and a life for a life when it comes to the death penalty as punishment for intentional murder? Do you believe that a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of release could ever be enough to sentence someone convicted of conspiracy to commit acts of terrorism, etc.? Some of the questionnaires will even ask, in deciding whether to impose a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of release or death, how much importance would you attach to each of the following? And then list a variety of factors. Jurors are required to be honest in jury selection, and they're told that they must answer truthfully. And if they say things like they are fundamentally opposed to the death penalty, then they will be stricken from that jury. Any juror who indicates that they have personal feelings that they wouldn't be able to set aside, they wouldn't be able to impose the death penalty, they would not be qualified to sit on a jury where death penalty was an option. And the reason why I said a jury like this might seem cherry-picked is because basically they are. Anyone who is not in favor of the death penalty can't sit on that jury, and therefore a jury that's deciding whether or not someone gets the death penalty must already be in favor of the death penalty to get on that jury to begin with. If you have other questions about this process or anything with regards to it, please let me know in the comments and make sure you're following along because I will be covering this case and more. Thanks for being here.